Deep in the Zephyrin Empire's central command, First Overseer Vexera studied the holographic display of a seemingly unremarkable solar system. Her crystalline body refracted the soft blue light as she manipulated the projection with her four upper appendages. The longer she observed the third planet from its yellow star, the more her curiosity grew. Most peculiar, she mused, her voice a melodic hum that filled the chamber. Show me the technological progression analysis again. The AI complied, displaying a timeline of human advancement. The Zephyrins had been watching Earth for centuries, cataloging every radio wave, every satellite launch, every technological breakthrough. But something about the data troubled Vexera. The progression is too linear, she noted, her crystalline structure pulsing with thought patterns. Too predictable. No species advances this consistently without deviation. She expanded the hologram, focusing on the last 50 Earth years, and their energy signatures haven't increased proportionally with their population growth. The data is verified. First Overseer, her second-in-command, Krylith, assured her, we've had observation posts beyond their Kuiper Belt for 3 decades. They still rely on chemical rockets and primitive fission power. Their most advanced AI can barely play strategy games. Vexera's crystalline form dimmed slightly, a sign of deep contemplation. The Zephyrin Empire had conquered 12 galaxies through superior technology and the ability to predict exactly how developing civilizations would react. They were masters of probability, their crystalline bodies housing quantum computers that could calculate outcomes with near-perfect accuracy. Deploy the archivists, she commanded finally. I want every transmission intercepted, every emission analyzed. Something about these humans doesn't align with our models. In the following weeks, the Zephyrin analysis ships maintained their position at the edge of the solar system, their advanced sensors probing Earth's civilization. They watched humans go about their daily lives, observed their primitive space stations, and monitored their basic satellite network. First Overseer, Krylith reported one cycle later, the archivists have completed their analysis. Humans appear to be exactly what they seem. A young species on the verge of their space age. Their most advanced weapons are nuclear fission devices, their space presence is minimal, and their quantum computing efforts are rudimentary at best. Vexera's crystalline structure pulsed with uncertainty, and that's precisely what concerns me, Krylith. In all our conquests, we've never encountered a species that matches our developmental models this perfectly. It's as if what, First Overseer? As if they know we're watching. As if they're showing us exactly what we expect to see. She expanded the hologram again, highlighting Earth's power distribution network. Look at their energy grid. It's inefficient, with significant power losses, yet they haven't improved it in decades. No species would tolerate such waste unless the inefficiency is deliberate, Krylith finished, his crystalline form flickering with sudden understanding. Precisely. Vexera's form pulsed with intense patterns of light. We're missing something. These humans, they're either exactly what they appear to be, or they're executing the most elaborate deception we've ever encountered. She made her decision. Prepare the Revelation Fleet. If the humans are truly primitive, our standard conquest protocol will suffice. But if they're hiding something, her crystalline structure glowed with anticipation. Well, that's why I'm commanding this mission personally. At that moment, in a deeply hidden facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the quantum sensors track the Zephyrin ship's every movement. She smiled as she read their energy signatures, their communication patterns, their probability calculations. Everything was proceeding exactly as humanity had planned. They're taking the bait, she murmured, watching the alien ship's movements on her holographic display, just like the Arcturians said they would. For decades, humanity had maintained its elaborate masquerade. While the Zephyrins watched Earth's primitive technology, humanity's true capabilities remained hidden in pocket dimensions, quantum bubbles, and parallel space-time corridors. all developed with the help of peaceful alien civilizations who had chosen cooperation over conquest. The quantum AI merged with Dr. Chen's consciousness through her neural interface. The Zephyrin probability engines are showing the 99.97% chance that we are exactly what we appear to be, it reported. Their invasion is now virtually certain. Good, Dr. Chen replied, initiating the worldwide alert sequence. Let them come. It's time humanity stopped pretending to be primitive. Send word to the Arcturian Alliance. Operation Looking Glass is entering its final phase. As the Zephyrin ships began their approach, humanity's greatest deception was about to be revealed. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of human civilization and teach the Zephyrin Empire the danger of trusting probability over instinct. The Zephyrin Revelation Fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, their crystalline ships refracting starlight in dazzling patterns. First Overseer Vexera stood at the command center of her flagship, the Probability Matrix, as her fleet of 300 vessels arranged themselves in attack formation. Launch the probe satellites, she ordered. Full spectrum analysis of their defensive capabilities. The probes accelerated toward Earth, their sensors extending to analyze every aspect of human civilization. As data streamed back, Vexera's crystalline structure pulsed with increasing uncertainty. Everything looked exactly as their models predicted: primitive orbital stations, basic satellite networks, and outdated nuclear weapons. Deep beneath the Himalayan mountains, Fleet Admiral Yuki Tanaka watched the alien probes through humanity's quantum observation network. Her neural interface connected her directly to Earth's true defense grid, hidden in dimensional pockets throughout the solar system. The Zephyrins are following the exact pattern the Arcturians predicted, she said to the holographic representations of Earth's Defense Council. Their probability engines make them predictable. They only see what they expect to see. Should we begin Phase 2? Asked Director Marcus Ibrahim, his hologram flickering slightly as it projected from his base beneath the Sahara. Not yet, Tanaka replied. Let them commit fully to their assumption. The more resources they deploy based on false data, the more complete their defeat will be. In orbit around Jupiter, humanity's true space fleet waited in quantum bubble pockets, invisible to conventional sensors. The ships bore no resemblance to the clunky rockets and primitive space stations the Zephyrins observed. Instead, they were elegant vessels of dark matter alloy and consciousness-guided quantum drives, developed through centuries of secret cooperation with peaceful alien species. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Deception, watching through quantum sensors as the Zephyrin fleet approached. Status report on the dimensional pocket grid. All systems nominal, Commander, her AI partner responded through their neural link. The Zephyrins remain unaware of our presence. Their probability calculations still show a 99.9% chance that Earth is a primitive civilization. In her crystalline command chamber, Vexera reviewed the probe data with growing frustration. Everything confirms our initial analysis, yet my uncertainty persists. No species has ever matched our developmental models this precisely. Perhaps, suggested Kryleth, we should conduct a small-scale weapons test. Their reaction might reveal any hidden capabilities. Agreed. Vexera's form pulsed with command patterns. Target one of their primitive orbital stations. Let's see how they respond to a display of superior technology. The Zephyrin fleet launched a single energy projectile toward the International Space Station. As the crystalline bullet approached Earth orbit, Admiral Tanaka smiled. They're right on schedule. Initiate Protocol Mirage. The energy projectile passed straight through the space station, as if it wasn't there. In fact, it wasn't. The station was a quantum hologram, maintained for decades to fool watching eyes. The real station existed in a parallel dimensional space, along with most of humanity's true orbital infrastructure. Impossible. Vexera's crystalline structure flashed with alarm patterns. The projectile's trajectory was perfect. How could it pass through solid matter? Before she could order another attack, her sensor officers reported something strange. The primitive satellites around Earth were changing. What had appeared to be simple communication devices began shifting form, their outer shells dissolving to reveal quantum state machinery that shouldn't have been possible for humans to develop. Full scan, Vexera commanded, but her sensor arrays suddenly reported conflicting data. The space around Earth seemed to ripple as dimensional pockets began opening, revealing infrastructure and technology that had been hidden in parallel spacetime. First Overseer, Kryleth's voice carried tones of fear. We're detecting energy signatures that exceed our own technology by several orders of magnitude. The humans, they're not what they appear to be. Admiral Tanaka's voice broadcast across all frequencies, reaching every Zephyran ship. You're right, First Overseer Vexera. We're not what we appear to be. We've been waiting for your arrival, and you've performed exactly as the Arcturians predicted you would. The name of humanity's alien allies sent shockwaves through the Zephyran command structure. The Arcturians were legends, a species so advanced they had transcended normal spacetime thousands of years ago. Now, Tanaka continued, allow us to show you what humanity is truly capable of. You sought to conquer what you thought was a primitive species. Instead, you've discovered one of the galaxy's best-kept secrets. Around the Earth, dimensional pockets continued to open, revealing the true extent of human technological advancement. The stage was set for a demonstration that would shatter the Zephyran Empire's understanding of both humanity and their own limitations. First Overseer Vexera watched in mounting horror as the space around Earth transformed. What had appeared to be empty void now rippled with dimensional distortions as humanity's hidden technology revealed itself. The crystalline structure of her body pulsed with patterns that hadn't been seen in the Zephyran Empire for millennia. Pure, unbridled fear. Impossible, she whispered, as her probability engines tried and failed to calculate the new tactical situation. Their technology. It violates all known development patterns. What had seemed to be debris in Earth orbit suddenly shifted, revealing themselves as quantum state weapon platforms. The primitive satellites transformed, their outer shells dissolving to show advanced systems that shouldn't have existed. Even Earth's moon flickered, portions of its surface disappearing to unveil massive hidden installations. First Overseer, Kryleth reported, his crystalline form vibrating with stress. We're detecting energy signatures from within their star's coronosphere. They have installations inside their sun. In her command center beneath the Pacific, Dr. Sarah Chen activated the Sol Network, humanity's most closely guarded secret. Throughout the solar system, quantum receivers activated, drawing power directly from carefully hidden stellar tap points within the sun itself. Helios protocol active, she announced through the quantum network. All units now have unlimited power availability. Admiral Tanaka's voice echoed through space again, reaching every Zephyran ship. You assumed, First Overseer, that our development followed your models because that's what we wanted you to see. The truth is, humanity passed those technological stages centuries ago. The Zephyran fleet's sensors suddenly detected movement from Jupiter's orbit. Massive ships emerged from dimensional pockets, vessels that dwarfed anything in the Zephyran armada. They were built of dark matter alloy, their quantum drives bending spacetime around them as they moved. Commander Rodriguez, aboard the Deception, gave the order. All ships, combat configuration. Show them what we can really do. The human vessels transformed in ways that defied conventional physics. Their hull materials shifted between states of matter, quantum fields rippled around them, and weapon systems emerged that drew power directly from the fabric of spacetime itself. Impossible. Vexera's crystalline form flashed with panic patterns. No species could advance this far without detection. Our probability engines would have predicted. That's your fundamental mistake, Tanaka interrupted. You rely too heavily on prediction and probability. Humanity learned long ago that the best way to survive in a hostile universe was to defy expectation. Vexera issued the only order she could. Battle formations. All ships, full power to weapons and shields. The Zephyrin fleet arranged itself in their most effective combat pattern, their crystalline ships glowing with energy as they prepared to fire. But before they could launch their attack, something even more extraordinary happened. Space itself seemed to bend around Earth as ancient Arcturian technology activated. The peaceful species that had chosen to ally with humanity had shared more than just technology. They had shared their understanding of the universe's deepest secrets. "You should know," Dr. Chen broadcast to the Zephyrin fleet, "that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to build trust and cooperation with others. The Arcturians chose to help us because we proved we would use their knowledge wisely." Massive structures began to appear around the solar system, installations that had been hidden in parallel space-time dimensions for centuries. They formed a vast network, more advanced than anything the Zephyrin Empire had ever encountered. "Last chance," First Overseer, Admiral Tanaka offered. "You can retreat now, return to your empire, and report that Earth is not to be trifled with. Or you can attack, and we'll be forced to demonstrate just how far humanity has really come." In her command chamber, Vexera faced the most difficult decision of her existence. Her probability engines were useless. They couldn't compute scenarios they had never conceived of. For the first time in her long life, she would have to rely on instinct rather than calculation. She raised her crystalline appendages to issue her command, knowing that her next words would either save her fleet or doom it to destruction. The entire Zephyrin Empire's future hung on whether their first overseer could admit they had completely, catastrophically underestimated humanity. Vexera's crystalline form pulsed with rapid patterns of light as she made her decision. Her entire existence had been guided by probability calculations, but now, faced with the impossible, she had to rely on something the Zephyrin Empire had long forgotten: intuition. "All ships, hold position," she commanded. "Power down weapon systems." First Overseer Kryleth protested, his crystalline structure flashing with alarm patterns. "Our protocols demand." "Our protocols," Vexera interrupted, "were designed for civilizations that follow predictable patterns." "Look around you, Kryleth. Does any of this follow our predictions?" Through the Quantum Observation Network, Admiral Tanaka watched the Zephyrin fleet power down their weapons. "A wise choice, First Overseer. But I'm afraid we can't simply let you leave. You need to understand exactly what you're dealing with." At that moment, the Arcturian technology around the solar system activated fully. Massive rings of energy formed between the hidden installations, creating a complex geometric pattern that encompassed the entire solar system. The Zephyrin fleet found themselves trapped within a quantum lattice that made their most advanced technology look primitive by comparison. "What you're seeing," Dr. Chen explained, her voice reaching every Zephyrin ship, "is a Type IA civilization's understanding of spacetime. The Arcturians shared this with us because we proved we would use it responsibly. Now let us show you why they chose humanity as their successors." Commander Rodriguez's voice came next. "All ships, initiate protocol revelation." The human fleet began to move in ways that defied conventional physics. Their dark matter hulls shifted through multiple quantum states simultaneously, their drives manipulating the fabric of reality itself. Around them, space rippled as they demonstrated technology that the Zephyrin Empire had never imagined possible. "Impossible," Kryleth whispered, his crystalline form dimming with shock. "They're operating on multiple dimensional planes simultaneously. Even our most advanced theoretical models never conceived of this." Vexera watched as human ships phased through solid matter, split into multiple quantum states, and manipulated gravity itself. Their weapons weren't simply advanced. They operated on principles that the Zephyrin Empire, for all its power, had never even discovered. "You see, First Overseer," Admiral Tanaka explained, "humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to imagine possibilities beyond conventional limits. Every piece of science fiction we created, every story we told about space and aliens, they weren't just entertainment. They were preparation. The quantum lattice around the solar system began to pulse with energy. Within its field, the human ships demonstrated maneuvers that should have been impossible. They moved through dimensions the Zephyrans couldn't even perceive, their technology operating on principles that defied the Empire's understanding of physics. While you watched our primitive rockets and satellites, Dr. Chen continued, we were building this. While you measured our basic energy emissions, we were learning to tap into the fundamental forces of the universe. The Arcturians chose us because we never stopped asking, what if? Commander Rodriguez's fleet surrounded the Zephyran ships, not with aggression, but with a display of technical superiority that made their crystalline forms pulse with awe. Human vessels shifted between states of matter, their quantum drives bending reality around them as they moved. The universe is far stranger than your probability engines can calculate, Tanaka said. That's why the Arcturians chose us. Humanity doesn't just accept the impossible. We achieve it. Vexera's crystalline structure pulsed with a new pattern, one of understanding. You hid all this, not just to defend against invasion, but to test any species that found you, to see how they would approach a seemingly primitive civilization. Exactly, Dr. Chen confirmed. Those who came in peace, like the Arcturians, discovered our true nature through friendship. Those who came as conquerors found themselves facing a power they never imagined. Vexera finished, her form dimming with humility. We, who thought ourselves masters of probability, failed to consider the greatest probability of all, that we weren't as advanced as we believed. Admiral Tanaka's voice carried a note of satisfaction. Now you understand. The question is, what will you do with this understanding? First Overseer Vexera stood in Earth's quantum conference chamber, her crystalline form reflecting the sophisticated technology that surrounded her. The room existed in multiple dimensional states simultaneously, a casual demonstration of humanity's true capabilities. Before her, holographic representations of Earth's Leadership Council hung in the air, while the physical forms of Admiral Tanaka and Dr. Chen stood nearby. Your civilization, Vexera began, her translator converting her crystalline resonances into human speech, has achieved something the Zephyran Empire never considered possible. You've proven that probability isn't destiny. That's the fundamental difference between our species, Dr. Chen responded. You built an empire on the power to predict and control. We built our civilization on the power to imagine and create. Through quantum links, the discussion was being broadcast throughout both fleets. In orbit, Commander Rodriguez watched from the bridge of the Deception as human and Zephyran crews began cautious interactions, sharing their first direct observations of each other's technology. The Arcturians were right, Tanaka said, addressing Vexera. They told us that the greatest test of any civilization isn't its technology, but how it chooses to use that technology. That's why they chose to help us, and that's why we chose to reveal ourselves to you this way. Vexera's form pulsed with patterns of deep thought. You could have destroyed our fleet the moment we arrived. Instead, you chose to teach us a lesson. The same lesson the Arcturians taught us, Chen explained. True advancement comes not from conquest, but from cooperation. Not from probability, but from possibility. In the quantum conference chamber, holographic displays showed the Zephyran fleet still surrounded by humanity's defense network. But now, human ships were sharing their quantum field technology with the Zephyran vessels, helping them maintain stability within the dimensional lattice. I propose, Vexera said, her crystalline structure brightening. An exchange. The Zephyran Empire offers friendship to Earth and its allies. We have much to learn from each other. The human leaders shared knowing looks. This had been the hope, not just to defend Earth, but to transform a potential enemy into an ally. The Arcturians predicted this too, Tanaka revealed. They said that species who can admit their mistakes and learn from them are the ones most worthy of advancement. Through the quantum network, Commander Rodriguez reported something extraordinary. The Zephyran ship's crystalline structures were beginning to resonate with the quantum fields in new ways, adapting and evolving through mere exposure to human technology. Your ships, Chen observed, they're already beginning to change. Your crystalline technology has potential you never explored because your probability engines couldn't predict it. Yes, Vexera agreed, watching her own form shimmer with new possibilities. We limited ourselves by believing only in what we could calculate. You've shown us that the greatest discoveries lie beyond calculation. The quantum conference chamber shifted, expanding to include holographic representations of Arcturian entities, beings of pure energy and thought who had guided humanity's development. Their presence confirmed that this moment had been centuries in the making. The galaxy is changing, one of the Arcturian entities announced. The alliance of human imagination and Zephyran precision will open new paths for all civilizations. Vexera turned to address the human leaders directly. The Zephyran Empire has conquered 12 galaxies through force and calculation, but you have conquered us through wisdom and revelation. We offer not just peace, but partnership. Admiral Tanaka smiled. And we accept. Together, we can explore possibilities that neither of our civilizations could imagine alone. As the formal agreements were made, Dr. Chen activated one final system. Throughout the solar system, more dimensional pockets opened, revealing the true extent of human achievement. Research stations that existed in quantum superposition, ships that could traverse multiple realities, and technology that blended science with consciousness itself. This, Chen said, is humanity's gift to our new allies. Not just our technology, but our way of thinking. Our ability to dream beyond the probable and achieve the impossible. The Arcturian entities pulsed with approval as they witnessed the beginning of a new era in galactic civilization. Humanity had passed their greatest test, not just defending Earth, but transforming an enemy into a friend through understanding rather than force. In orbit, human and Zephyran ships began a dance of technology and discovery, their combined capabilities already creating phenomena that neither species had seen before. The age of probability was ending. The age of possibility was about to begin.